So I'm bringing on Amy Turner in just a second, and we are going to go deep, deep, deep into the roots of why we do what we do, our beliefs, and how our childhood may be holding us back from the results that we want. So definitely stay tuned. We're going to dive in with Amy in just a sec. Before that, I'm talking to you because you are becoming your greatest possible self. You are here on the show with us. I acknowledge you for that, for stepping up, stepping into your greatness. And I highly recommend you stay tuned, subscribe to the show, to the podcast if you haven't yet done that, so you can get all the latest updates and episodes. If you are someone who is getting your message out to the world, I would love to support you in any way I can. If it's coaching, if it's coming on the 12-hour marathon, if it is any other thing, just let me know. I'm here for you. I'm here to be a resource for you. So keep growing yourself. Second thing is iTunes review of the week. It's by Brian Kelly. Reach your peak. Authentic and energetic. Chris is as authentic as one can be. He loves helping people and his energy is infectious. Watch this show if you want to become your greatest possible self. Absolutely. Stay tuned. Keep tuning into this greatness. Amy's about to come on and blow your mind. Make sure you stay all the way through till the end because these ideas are going to be fire. Grab a piece of paper, grab a pen. Be ready to take notes because she is a no BS kind of gal, okay? Let's introduce her, and then we'll bring her on the screen and have a lot of fun, definitely. Because this woman, Amy Turner, is known as the No BS Sweetheart. And most recently, her clients are referring to her as Amy Aha Turner. Because when you are around Amy, you just get aha after aha. Amy has a lot of credentials. She's a licensed marriage and family therapist, a licensed advanced alcohol and drug counselor, a certified hypnotherapist, blah, blah, blah. She is no BS and knows you don't really care about her credentials. What really matters is if you are going to get the results you are after. Well, she loves getting her clients the results they want. She mostly loves how quickly she can do it. Want to find out yourself? Here she is, Amy Aha Turner. Amy, are you ready to rock the house, Superwoman?
Yes, I'm so ready. Thank
Boom,
you.
shakalaka. I love that intro. That was like one of my favorite intros I've ever read. That was good. That was good. I was like, oh my gosh, like it's really pacing people where they're at. It's like, okay, intros are great. What do you got for me? You know, like people are so WIFM, what's in it for me? And Amy, you got a ton for us today. So I really appreciate you being here and sharing your magic and your light. Thank you.
Aw, thank you so much for having me, Chris. This is amazing. I've been watching the other interviews. You are a freaking powerhouse to be able to go 12 hours and doing this. So like, praise to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Amy. So we're going to dive into today's theme, which is the one thing. Amy, what is the one thing and what does that mean to you? How has that impacted your life?
Okay, so when I hear the one thing, it makes me think of a question, and I'm going to have you play along with me with this.
I love playing.
So, good. Okay, so there's only one thing that is wrong with every single one of us. So there's only one thing wrong with me. There's only one thing wrong with you. There's only one thing wrong with everyone. So you want to just take a guess of what you think that is.
Only one thing wrong. I would say the one thing wrong is that I believe that there's something wrong with me.
Hey, exactly.
Wow. It's true. It's true. It's like the not enough, the unworthiness, the like I'm broken.
Exactly. Yeah, I used to when I was working in a hospital and I worked with people who had addictions and I would ask them that question, they'd be like, oh, well, the thing wrong is that we have an addiction. It's like, no, that's not something wrong about you. And then they're like, oh, is it because we're depressed? Is it because we're anxious? I'm like, no. Like they never could get it because they think there's something wrong with you. And now, Chris, obviously, you've done a ton of work on yourself, so you know that that's what it is, that we think there's something wrong with us or we believe there's something wrong with us. So that when I hear the one thing, it always brings me back to that question.
Wow, that's so powerful. And especially with you working with so many people across so many different like genres and challenges and obstacles, like all the things that I mentioned of different areas, you know, marriage and alcohol and drug addiction, like it seems like all those problems would be completely different. And it sounds like at the core root of these things, and especially in our theme of today of talking about like childhood and stuff, like it may not be so different after all.
Exactly. We think like our surface issues, because it's happening to us, we feel like we're the only ones, or we feel like we're in this like small cohort of what it's happening to. But the thing is it always goes back to childhood. It always goes back to our belief about ourselves. So is it that we feel like we're not good enough, not worthy, not lovable? We feel different. We feel like things aren't available to us. Those are pretty much the main things that it comes down to.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So powerful. So I mentioned a little bit about your intro before, and I just want to hear in your own words to share with our audience, like, who are you and what do you stand for today? What do your clients come to you for, and what do you stand for?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is it's that I stand that people know that there's nothing wrong with you. You don't have to fix yourself. There's nothing wrong. And that's the thing. It's like all these people, they're getting help for themselves, and me too. I'm not saying like I've done all the work I can do and I'm done. Like, I'm light now. No.
We're still on the journey.
Still on the journey, exactly. But it's like we think there's something wrong with us, and that's what I stand for. Is there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing that you need to fix. It's almost like just seeing that there's been so many beliefs and so many identities and so many things that were put on us, especially as little kids, because that's where identity is formed between the ages of 5 and 8 years old. So a lot of times we as adults, I mean, that's what I think a midlife crisis is, or like a midlife crisis that we go through.
Right.
It's like we've lived this identity of who these people, our parents, caregivers, teachers, friends, told us that we are. And then we get old enough to kind of look at that. And that's what the crisis is. It's like, that's not who I am, or I'm not living up to who I'm supposed to be. And so it's kind of just like, that's what I stand for, is you feel like something's wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You just have all of these misbeliefs and all of these identities put on you that aren't who you truly are.
So, Amy, is there a age range for the midlife crisis? Because I think it's interesting. I love this because I feel like I went through end of high school and into early college, and even into the end of college, and then I discovered personal development and network marketing, and like really started to learn how to create my reality and not subscribe to whatever society had programmed me to. So I'd say like around 21 is when I really started saying, nah, that's not who I am, and like questioning that. But I also like hit a rock bottom at that point because of all the momentum that had built up around who I thought I was supposed to be in society.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think and especially as society, as we are becoming more conscious and more wanting to do personal growth, that I know it's so good.
Yes.
That we're actually diving into this stuff a lot earlier. So I would say definitely college, early 30s at the latest. That's that midlife crisis.
Powerful. I love it. Okay, cool. So this is great. Let's go back into your journey, Amy. Let's take us back and let us know, how did you become fascinated with the world of beliefs, belief systems, and getting all these beautiful certifications that don't really matter, but they do matter. They're awesome credibility, and really show that you've put in the time and the energy because you care and you're committed to mastery. You're committed to growth. So take us on that journey, and what were some of the biggest pivotal moments for you to get to where we are today?
Yeah. So at first I wanted to be a famous actress.
Yeah.
So
awesome. That's cool.
So I wanted, and now that I've done all the work on myself, I understand where that came from, because I was not a good actress at all. All of my teachers were like, okay, Amy, that was a good try. Can you put some emotion into it? Like, what's emotion? What are you talking about? I'm happy all the time. I'm like, I can't cry. You can't get angry. Which that's a red flag right there to any healer or any therapist out there. It's like, this girl can't get angry or cry.
Pollyanna, always even keeled, always peaceful.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So then on that journey, I ended up finding who my therapist is, who she is. But actually, before I found her, I went into psychology. So I was a bartender, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to be a bartender the rest of my life. What am I going to do? And my friend said, you're a great listener and you give great advice. And I was like, okay, well, might as well get paid for it. Let's go be a therapist. Wow. And from there, becoming a therapist, I met the most amazing therapist, shaman, she's both, ever in my life, who is, I mean, I'm no BS. She's like no BS. She's the reason that I'm no BS. She's the
Wow.
reason I'm so good at what I do. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's the other thing with the credentials is
Mm.
it's like, okay, yeah, I went to school and I have all these credentials and everything, but I learned the most from her.
Yeah.
She was the one that taught me everything about childhood, everything
Mm.
about our like us being like little kids or in adult bodies. Like she was the one that taught me that. I didn't learn that in school.
Wow. I
So
want to highlight this because this is something I think a lot of people put the weight in some kind of test, some kind of standardization, some kind of certificate or credibility. And I feel that the best growth and mastery comes from being around other masters. And it sounds like you were super blessed to have someone who is extremely competent, extremely effective, and no BS, incredibly high standards that like challenged you to constantly be growing yourself and be the best version of yourself so that you could help as many people as possible.
oh my gosh, yes. And she challenged me. I've never been challenged so much in my life. There were times I would leave our sessions. It's like, I'm never going back. I'm done. I got what I
Wow.
needed. And then I show up the next week because she's the only one in my life that would actually challenge me. She's the
Yeah.
only one who actually wanted to know who I was.
Wow.
And when people want to know who you are, they want to know your shadow. They want to know everything. They don't want to just know the light happy side, and that's what I grew up with is just like, okay, just be light and happy all the time and make everyone look good. And she was like, oh no, let me tell you something. So I did her workshop and I went thinking that, okay, I can't find a relationship. I'm a therapist. I help people. Let me go see what I can get out of this workshop and find out why I can't find a man. And I did not know her workshop was all about inner child work. And she introduced me. She's like, Amy, no, no, no. You thought you had a happy childhood? Oh, no. And she did a
Wow.
180 on me and helped me see that I was just a people pleaser my whole entire life.
Wow.
It wasn't happy. That's just how I had to survive and get through it.
Mm.
And then from there, that's when I became, why I was really good. I was always observing people. And so that's why I became a therapist too.
Mm.
But so that was like the highlight is working with her because she did a 180 on me and helped me see, oh no, 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 no. Like, and you're working with people and you're a therapist and you're helping people. Like that's what I'm saying. She's no BS. She would be like, I love her to death. She's older too. She's
Yeah.
80.
Yeah,
So
it's like it's usually the old school mindset like that had to go through a lot more difficult times, it wasn't so much instant gratification of today's society and social media and things like that. Like I know I've gotten mentored and coached by my business partner who has that kind of old school like paper and pen kind of mentality. I'm like, ugh. But a lot of the principles that he shares are super powerful. So I can totally relate.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I didn't learn this stuff in school. I learned this
Mm.
stuff through her and her sharing her own story and her own journey and what she went through. And that's why she's really good at what she does. And
Mm.
now I feel like I'm really good at what I do because I've worked with her and she's
Wow.
helped me see. I mean, it's been tough. It's been shadow work is not easy, and working through that has been tough. And it's not over. There's still more to come, but I'm a big believer is you can only take your clients as far as you've been willing to go yourself.
Yep.
So that's why I'm really good at what I do because I've gone there.
Wow. This is powerful, powerful. So you worked with her for a while, and you still work with her today, collaborate with her. So that's awesome. And I want to know, when did it become important for you to like get a message out and really like use the power of social media, building a brand to make a bigger impact in the world, speaking? Like, when did all that become a priority for you, Amy?
It's kind of funny because I believe our mission is kind of like what we thought our mess was, kind of sense.
Mm.
Um, and so my thing is I always wanted to be seen and heard as a little girl, and still do.
Yeah.
And that's what my mission is that everyone deserves to be seen and heard. And so I think it started when I realized that I like everyone needs to be seen and heard, and I need to be seen and heard to almost like let people know that they deserve to be seen and heard. So that was
Yes.
kind of what started the whole, and then also doing therapy and traditional therapy where I just knew there was something else. I was just
Mm.
like asking. okay, there's got to be something else besides just sitting with someone talking about their problems over and over again. And I was asking for it. And then that's when I found hypnotherapy. And I found hypnotherapy as a skeptic. So the woman who created the method that I use, she's from England, so they can say things very differently there than we can here in America.
Wow.
And so her tagline was, I can cure anyone in one session. And so I'm thinking, who is this crazy lady that thinks she can cure people in one session? And because I was such a skeptic, I was like, I need to know more. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm going to take her course. I'm going to prove her wrong and I'm going to get my money back. And that didn't happen at all. She proved me wrong. People are telling me these amazing stories from their childhood in this one hypnotherapy session. Like, other therapists are practicing with me. We have very strong boundaries. We don't talk about ourselves. And so they're crying with me about their childhood. I'm thinking, what is this? And then that's when I realized, okay, I'm supposed to help people in this way. And that's why in my bio, I say help people faster than traditional therapy, because it's amazing. But hypnotherapy, it really does get to the root of the issue. It really does get you to find what's been sabotaging you so you can move forward. And that's when I realized, okay, I can do this as a business. I don't have to just follow that traditional therapy route anymore.
So is the hypnotherapy is the reason why, I'm curious why you found it most effective. My estimate is because it's like the fastest way to connect with the deepest level of our unconscious, subconscious mind, like our truth, whatever we've made the truth. Is that what you found, or is there something else that you found?
Yeah. And I think it brings a lot of safety, because in hypnotherapy, your eyes are closed. Right. And you're really, really relaxed. And so it lets your conscious mind, that's always protecting you, that's always rationalizing, that's defending you, which is great. Right. But when you really want to get to the root cause of what's going on, it's not so good. And in hypnotherapy, you get to calm that conscious mind down, and then we can go look and see what memories are in the unconscious, what are the beliefs that are living in your subconscious. And it's a really, really safe place, because for me, when I had my own sessions of hypnotherapy, and like I said earlier, it took me a long, long time to cry. I was like proud that I couldn't cry. And of course, my therapist called me out on that and worked with me for years to get me to cry. And this one session doing hypnotherapy, because my eyes are closed, because I'm relaxed, because I felt safe, I let the tears come out. And that's what a lot of my clients say too, is, wow, I never let myself cry, or I didn't know I could cry that much. And I think exactly what you shared, and because it's a safe place.
So powerful. This is gold. It's gold. I think, we're talking about becoming our greatest possible selves all day long on this platform. And I think some of the biggest ways to do that is with the right resources, the right people and skills and expertise such as your own. But this is like, I feel, one of those indispensable tools that everyone everywhere deserves to get access to, deserves to utilize, to be able to break through whatever they're stuck with. It's like, I feel like the only reason why we are stuck where we are is because of our beliefs about who we are and why we should be stuck, or even stuff that we're not even aware of, blind spots.
Oh, yeah, everywhere. And that's the thing. It's like, I believe that it started in our childhood, and the different beliefs that our parents and caregivers told us and teachers told us. And they don't even have to be verbal things. It can just be the energy, or it can be like what you saw growing up, like, oh, work has to be hard because I'm seeing my dad struggle every day, or my mom. And you just automatically instill that. So, like, our brain isn't done forming until we're 25 years old. So all of this stuff is just seeping in, and we're taking on, okay, this is how you do the world. This is what it is.
It's powerful. This is good. So you fell in love, or rose in love, rose, whichever way we want to go. You rose in love with hypnotherapy, and you saw that it was one thing that traditional therapy hasn't really shared with the world, and you had to get this message out. You knew that for yourself to be seen, heard, and loved, you had to do that and be the example of that, so you could help other people to be seen and heard as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's powerful. It's really good. I just want to make sure that we're recapping everything So I want to dive into like what our listeners and audience can do today to start being more aware of what BS, belief systems, nonsense, limiting beliefs might be holding them back from success, from happiness, from fulfillment, and what they can start to do about it on their end.
Yeah, yeah. So there's so many things, and one of the things that I love teaching, where people get like usually huge ahas and insight,
Mhm.
is a lot of times what we could be doing is we could be stopping ourselves from the success what we want
Mm,
because we saw that our parents didn't get it or our
mm.
siblings didn't get it, and so that could be it's called outdoing, and we
Wow.
don't want to outdo what our parents did. So if we saw our dad or mom struggling in work and we have an opportunity for a promotion or an opportunity to be an entrepreneur and really create something, unconsciously we could be sabotaging ourselves
Wow.
because we don't want to make our parent feel bad, sad, guilty, anything like that,
Mm,
because we have risen. It can also be, it doesn't necessarily have to be money, it can also be your happiness. If
mm,
you have someone in your family that's sick or depressed or anxious, any of that, like any kind of mental illness, then you could be sabotaging your happiness and your joy because you don't want to bring them down because you're feeling good about yourself.
mm. This is powerful. So it's like really comparing ourselves to our parents and outdoing them. It's like not wanting to hurt their feelings, or like outshine them, and that's because we love them, right? We want to like protect them. We want them to feel good. I know that's for me, like people pleasing, totally can relate with that. Like I want my mom and my dad to feel good, and if I like had success, theoretically had more success than them, then they might feel like, oh, like we can't reach Chris anymore, we can't talk to him anymore, he's too successful, he doesn't understand us, or something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I had a client who, she was having money blocks, and we did a session, and it was because every time that she made some money or she had a little bit more money than her dad, she would show her dad, "Hey, I just bought this car," or "I just got this promotion."
Mm,
And her dad would be like, "Well, that's nice." And then she'd feel guilty that she got that promotion and car, because then she
wow,
feels guilty that her dad doesn't have it. And then she'd sabotage continuing making money. And
wow,
so when we found that out in hypnotherapy, she was able to release that out and just, okay, that's my dad's. That's not mine. I don't have to
mm,
carry that. I don't. And that's one thing I really, really say over and over and over again with my clients. You are not responsible for your parents. You don't have to take care of them. They brought
mm,
you into the world. You didn't bring them into the world. It's their own journey, it's their own
wow,
path. You're not responsible to fix them or feel the emotions for them.
wow, wow. This is powerful. You mentioned in like as soon as one session, like these blocks can be removed, disappear, dissipated, transformed. What determines whether or not it's like one session or two or five or 500? Like how many sessions does it like take for different things, and what could people expect in terms of hypnotherapy and how fast it could work?
Yeah, so it just depends. It depends on like how big of the trauma is that the person has. Usually, if it's any kind of like weight release, that could take 2 or 3 sessions.
Hmm.
Um, I think for me, because I have the therapy background, because I've done all that work with the most amazing therapist ever, the No BS one,
Yeah.
and so for me, a lot of my clients get it in one session,
Mm,
sometimes two.
mm,
And what can happen too is people could sign up to have more than one session, and we clear that main thing. Okay, well, what do you want to work on next?
mm,
So it just depends. I mean, if someone's coming for some like deep, deep depression, it
mm,
could take 2 sessions. It's, I can kind of tell on that first initial phone call,
mhm,
but it really, like after that first session, that's when I know, because and it's also like that's just how life is. It's like we're peeling an onion. So
mm,
okay, we're looking at one issue here, and then we peel that onion, like, oh, now this is showing up. So it
right,
could, it's hard to just pinpoint it, but
mhm.
I will say working with me, it's usually one or two.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. And how if how much has like referrals and word of mouth and things like that? How much has that been a part of your business model personally?
Oh, it's amazing. Because it's like when I'm on that initial phone call with people and I'm explaining what I do,
Yeah.
it's so hard to explain what you do. And then when after the session, when the client comes out of that hypnosis, it's a very light hypnosis, but when the client comes out, then they're like, "Oh my gosh, Amy, I had no idea it was like this." I'm like, "Yeah,
Mm,
I don't know how to explain the magic that happens." And so referrals
mm,
are everything. I've
yeah.
had so many clients who have never seen a therapist, who've never done hypnotherapy, and they only came to see me because their friend said, "Look, you got to do this. I know it sounds weird. I know it's out there, but you
Mm.
got to do this."
Yeah, that's so rad. I love it. So you use hypnotherapy as the main modality. Is there any other things that you bring into it, or how do you weave in other uh, skills and tool sets that you've picked up along the way?
Yeah, yeah, I love that question because that's exactly what I do is that main hypnotherapy thing that I learned. It's called RTT, rapid transformational therapy.
Okay.
And I start the session with RTT and then the rest of it is all completely what I've learned.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of inner child work. A lot of times whatever our block is, whether it's money, health, weight, I mean, not feeling good enough, not lovable, relationships, whatever that is.
Mm,
Again, as I always say, it starts in childhood. So we go back and we find the root cause in childhood. And then it's giving, so here's that like everyone deserves to be seen and heard.
mm,
So then it's giving that client a voice. So it's inner child work and giving that client a voice to speak up for what they truly wanted and needed in that time where that issue was showing up or they weren't feeling heard, weren't feeling
mm,
seen, weren't getting their needs met. So it's really a powerful inner child type work. And
mm.
then at the end, this is my favorite part, is I've brought in energy healing. And this
Mm.
is super woo-woo, but I freaking love it and it's amazing.
Bring it on.
And that's the gift that I'm giving everyone too. So I have it actually recorded that they can go through.
Wow.
But what I do is I help them find, okay, where does this issue live in your body? And you find where it lives in your body and we get to see like the shape and the color and everything. And the woo woo part is we talk back and forth with it.
Yeah,
Super woo woo, but super powerful.
totally.
And and it tells you like what it needs from you or why it's in your body. It's either there to protect you or it's there to punish you.
Wow.
And so we find out why that issue is sabotaging you. And then I guide the client to release it out,
Mm,
whatever we need to do. Some people take longer than others. Some people are like, nope, it's gone, done.
wow.
And then it's very powerful where it's like if it was someone that was abused or hurt, then I have them give it back to them. Like
Mm,
give it back. That's their own issue. It's not yours. You don't have to carry that.
mm,
And then from there, then I guide them to bring in a new energy that is going to help them move forward and know how truly powerful they are. And this is my absolute favorite part because then the new energy is like their best self, their inner guide that is telling them the truth about them. So I'm writing like super fast because they're saying out loud what they're telling them. And
yeah.
I'm writing so fast as I can
Right.
because then I make them a recording that they listen to where I'm putting all of those words in their
Mm,
recording. So they get to hear it every single day, the truth about them.
wow. That's powerful. There's so many. I love the different elements, the different modalities and tools that you bring in. I love the energy, how you're talking about, having a conversation with that. And I think it's so interesting that we have been shamed, like society has programmed us to be uncomfortable talking with ourselves, talking to different parts of our body, communicating, having a relationship with, like, I can talk to my hand, and say, like, hand, what do you need? Like, you're hurting, show me, tell me, illuminate for me what you need, guide me to find the solution so that you can be well, so that you can be vital, so that you can be healthy. So there's that, and then there's also like nature. I was talking to someone either today or I can't remember when, but like having a conversation with like a tree and like saying, hey tree, like it might seem weird or out there or woo or whatever, but like having these dialogues, these open dialogues to connect with every element of life. It's like such a beautiful being that we can be in harmony with everything around us, understanding that everything has consciousness in it. If it's in this universe or other universe or out of this universe or whatever, like space, even space and silence has consciousness in it. So it's like just it's fascinating to be able to relate to those aspects and those things.
Yeah, and it's so cool that we are so open to be able to do that. And if you want to take that a step further, I
Yes,
mean,
yes, please.
there's all those books and all these teachings out there that we are one with everyone. Like we are one. So you are one with the tree. You are one with like it's
Yeah.
instead of having all of this like
Mm.
competition and chaos, it's just treat everyone like they are you. And I'm getting super, I didn't know I was going to go there,
I
but
love it. I love it. That's I really I've been super grateful to step into my own like truth and my message. And in the beginning, I was like afraid of spirituality. I was afraid of God, like I didn't God, source, universe, creator, whatever we want to call it. But like I said, I was an atheist. I don't believe in anything. Like it was at a point in my life around 21 years old where I was like at that rock bottom, feeling like I don't need love. I don't need anyone. I'm just like this hurt little 6-year-old boy or whatever age who like is wounded and has been putting on all these layers of protection to shield myself from being hurt, from whatever kind of danger that I thought I was in. And so I like got present to I had cast off God, love, love from my parents. And I said, you know what? Like, let's start to reinvestigate this. Like, maybe I didn't have it all quite right. Maybe I don't know, So to really come to this place of openness and being willing to play and experiment, like it was a big part of my journey. And then the spirituality came along the line of just like trusting myself. That was a big problem for me, Amy, is like learning to just trust myself, trust my voice, that like I'm enough, and whatever I say, it's enough, it's perfect, it's exactly what was supposed to come out. So I really want to encourage everyone who's listening or watching right now to trust yourself, and whatever your dreams or desires are, find someone like Amy to be able to share those with and unblock yourself so that you can really step into your greatest success.
yeah, and I think that's so important too, how it like to be aware of, oh, I'm casting off God and source and universe, and I'm casting off love, and I'm casting off my like it, because to be able to be aware that, for you to be aware of that, Chris, to say, okay, I gotta be open here. I gotta see what's going on with myself, because that's the first thing that we can do to change, is you have to be aware of it. You can't change anything if you're not aware of it. So the more open you are, the more willing you are to hear different perspectives, even though it might not be easy, the faster that you can be aware of, okay, there's some things in me I gotta change. I know that they say, well, I see it all the time, is we attract our mirrors. And so you're going to attract people in your life that are going to trigger you in certain ways. And yes, you can still look at how they triggered you, and maybe they weren't supposed to do that. And that's mean of them. But you also, if you get triggered, you got to look inside and see, okay, what does this say about me? Because if you don't get triggered, if someone says like, oh, Amy, I hate your hair, I'm like, well, that sucks. And I just keep walking.
Right.
I'm not triggered. I don't care.
Right.
But if someone says like, Amy, you're ugly inside, right? Then I'll be like,
Wow.
oh my gosh, do I believe that about myself, that someone's going to say that? So if I get triggered, I got to look inside and see, what does that say about me? And so that's the point, is it's like when you're aware, and when you can be so aware that you can look at your triggers and not just blame, and take responsibility and see what it says about you, sky's the limit. I mean, you're on the journey. You're ready. You're towards enlightenment, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool. I love it. Okay, so this is great. I want to talk about other challenges or obstacles that people might come to you for. And like, what are the biggest things that people usually bring to you in terms of what's blocking them or results that they want in their life? Can you tell us some more about that?
Yeah. I would say, let me think about the blocks. I mean, it's definitely money stuff and success and not being seen. And let's see, relationships too. I've had people that are single that want to know why they're single. I've had people that want to know why their spouse is pissing them off.
Yep.
But the thing is it's like, the way I see it, and it's perfectly fine, because that's just how we are as humans, is it's like, those are the surface issues that we want to get help for. It's like, okay, our the money, relationships, health, all that stuff, that's surface issues. And the way I see it is, when we work together, it always goes down to how you feel about yourself, the beliefs
Mm.
about yourself, and why you're stopping yourself. So people come to me for all different things. The two types of clients, I mean, I like working with everything, but I think the two types of clients that I really like helping
Yeah.
are the people pleasers, because
Mm.
I'm still one. I mean, come on, do you ever really get out of it? No, but you just have more respect for yourself.
Right. There's always a sense of satisfaction that comes from serving and loving others. And it's like, okay, well, where are the boundaries? I think that's the biggest challenge as a people pleaser is like, where are the boundaries to my people pleasing? And how do I know if I'm overextending myself and no longer taking care of myself first and then overflowing into others?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's the thing, is people pleasers. I didn't know boundaries. I had to learn them. And so I help them learn boundaries. And the thing is it's like when they set those boundaries, it's really scary. And
Mm.
people are going to turn on you because they're not used to you acting like that. But in the long run, you're going to respect yourself and you're going to attract more people that do respect you.
Yeah.
And so that's a big cohort that I like to work with. And then on the opposite side are the ones that are identified in the family as like the scapegoats or the black sheeps,
Mm.
because those ones are the ones that are carrying the family's shame.
Wow.
So those are the ones that almost every single family has it, and they're the ones that are the bad child in the family, the one who's always getting in trouble, the class clown, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and they think they're bad because they're taught that they're bad, and a lot of times that's what the acting out is, where it's like,
Mm.
okay, if I'm not going to get any attention for just being me, then I might as well act bad to get some attention so I can
Wow.
get some kind of love. And I like working with them too, because they think that they're just a menace to society and that they're just bad and that
Mm.
they're toxic. And that's not it at all. The problem is they're carrying the shame of their family because the rest of the people in their family aren't aren't looking at their shame, aren't taking responsibility. And so they find that one person in the family that they're
Wow.
gonna make be the bad person, and that person is walking around feeling like they're a menace to society, when actually they're the most enlightened ones of the family, because they see what's going on and the family unconsciously understands that, and so they throw their shame on that person. That was a lot, I know.
Powerful. Like I'm just like, I see myself in both of them, like I see myself as the people pleaser and I also see myself as a troublemaker. And I love this. It's like illuminating. I don't know about anyone listening, but I'll speak for myself. Like I just feel like you're speaking to my soul, Amy. It's like it's kind of scary. Just kidding. It's not scary. You're totally great. And it brings me present. It's like, whoa, it's a whoa moment. Like, oh, whoa, like this is truth. There's like truth to this. Chris, like Amy's resonating with something that you haven't like yet dealt with, and I love what I'm hearing. I'm like, man, I need a hypnotherapy session. Gosh.
Well, you know who to call now.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is super super powerful. I love it. And if there's anyone who's listening right now, like, and this is resonating with you, I'm just totally going to encourage you to get in contact with Amy. Like, send her a message. So we'll share how you can do that even more in like 15 minutes or so. But Amy, how would people get in contact with you, like just right now, if they're just like, Chris, you're right. Like I know I got some stuff to deal with. Can you let them know what's the best way to contact you real quick?
Yeah. Go to nobstherapy.com and just fill out that little contact me form, and I always respond.
Awesome. Freaking powerful. Good stuff. So, in terms of someone's personal growth, after they come to a session with you, what are some other things that you'd recommend them to keep doing to optimize their growth and their happiness and greatest possible self?
Such a good question. I love that.
Yeah.
So I think, okay, so once someone works with me, they understand the root cause of things, then kind of like what I shared earlier, it's being aware. So now you understand why you have those beliefs. Be aware of when it shows up in your life again. And my favorite thing to tell my clients is because here's the thing. I'm not someone that thinks like, oh, I'm gonna cure you in one session. Your life is gonna be great the rest of the rest of your life because you saw me. Like, I don't believe that. We're human. We're gonna have ups and downs.
Right.
And so what I like to tell my clients is, well, pay attention to how you react to situations and how you react differently. And if you do react like how you used to react, pay attention to how much quicker you notice it and change it, because that shows that you're growing.
Yes.
And yeah, and so that's the main thing. Is it's like, it's so funny too, because it's like, I love humans because we get to that next step of growth, and then we have this new problem, and we don't even look back to see how far we've come.
Wow.
We're just automatically thinking like, oh, but now look at this, look at what's happening with my husband or my kid, and it's like, whoa, wait, do you see how you just responded to your husband? Do you know, like 2 months ago you would have done this? And it's just, we just automatically just jump up to that place, and then we have new problems.
Right. And then the problem is like this, like, it's all I could see, this problem, instead of, man, Chris, like just 2 months ago, like, good job, you've grown so much, you know?
Yes, and that's the thing. Celebrate. That's what I tell my clients all the time. It's even the small wins, just, or even if it's a failure, celebrate, because a big win is coming. And it's just like, we're just so accustomed to, okay, conquer this issue, and what's the next issue? Conquer that, and it's like, stop and celebrate and look at how far you've come.
It's gold. Gold. Okay, so celebrating is super important for you, Amy. And then, like, to continue to do the work, to be aware, to be present, it's almost, I use the word embody, to embody this new awareness, this new consciousness of a pattern, so that we can be more resourceful, resilient, and be able to snap back, to respond faster if it comes up again in the future.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good stuff. What are you noticing online? This is like online, and I'm sure you work with a lot of different people, but online, what are you noticing are some of the biggest things that people get to work on to be more effective at just being themselves, to be more authentic? Like, what can people do to step into their selves and just be their authentic selves even more?
Use your voice. Use your voice. You have a message. It doesn't matter. Like, don't fall into, my friend coined this term, comparanoia.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really good. Don't fall into that, because I know I do it sometimes, and I'll be like, oh, I want to share this. I want to do a Facebook Live. And then I'll watch someone that does something similar. I'm like, oh, well, they already did it. And, and then I compare myself. And so I have to take myself out of that and say, yeah, but the way I'm going to say it is going to be the way that someone needs to hear it.
Yeah.
And so that's what I would say, is it's like, for someone watching this, use your voice. Your voice is powerful. Your story is powerful. You're here for a reason. You're in your gift. Share it, because you don't know who needs it, who needs to hear it, who is like searching for it, and you can share it in the way that they need to hear it.
Absolutely. Share that voice. I believe everyone has a message. Everyone is here for a reason. And you don't need to, I say everyone has a platform too, right? And you don't need to have a Facebook Live streaming show to recognize that you have a platform. It could just be you're a father or a mother, and you have the platform of, like, leading your family. You're a leader, you're a father or you're a mother, or even as a kid, your platform is you're a family member, and so you can lead or help contribute to whatever you can do to support your family. But maybe you play a little bit bigger than that. Maybe it's a community, maybe it's an industry that you're out to serve, but really own your voice and step into that and know that you're making an impact. So that's awesome. And Amy, I noticed you are an amazing listener. I think you said earlier as well, like that's something that you developed, and you love to allow people to feel seen and heard. What was one of the major things that you had to grow through to develop that ability of listening? What was some of the stages of evolution, milestones along your listening growth journey?
I have never been asked that before. I don't even know if I even had to develop it. I think same as a kid.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
because
awesome.
I was always observing. I
Yeah.
was always like, that's one thing about me I noticed when I was in my 20s and go to bars and stuff. I I couldn't be if there was a lot of energy around me, I couldn't be just talking to one person. I'd always have to know what's going on around me and be like, oh, those guys are gonna get in a fight. And then 5 seconds later they start to fight. And I just would always know. So I think me just being very quiet as a kid. I mean, my mom said she would take me to the parent teacher conferences and the teacher would be like, oh, Amy, I don't really know her. She never speaks. So I was just a very quiet kid.
Wow.
I very much observed everything that was going on around me. And I think from what I shared earlier is it's I didn't ever feel seen and heard. And so from what I understand, I don't know this from me being a little girl, but from what I understand is I didn't feel seen and heard. And so at least if I could listen to everyone else and I could find where I fit in the world,
Hmm.
because that's kind of the people pleaser too, is the chameleon.
Wow.
So if I was quiet, if I listened to what everyone else wanted, I could become what everyone else wanted and I'd be
Yeah.
accepted and still be quiet.
Wow. It's powerful. It's powerful.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't think I developed it. I think I developed it and as like a young girl needing to fit in and feel accepted and loved.
Yeah. I love it. And I also hear that the reason why you listened, I think it would be a milestone for you. The reason why you listened changed. And that would be a big evolution to be able to more purely, intently, lovingly, like listen to people and allow them to be seen and heard instead of like, I'm trying to prove something. Now it's just like, because this is who I am. This is my soul. This is my gift. This is my love, and I think that's a big turning point. I wonder if you can look back, you don't have to do it right now, but just to look back, like when did that happen for you? That'd be something interesting just to demarcate your journey, and like turning point. Because I'm sure you'll come across other people who have similar experiences, and like that's something that you can provide wisdom to them about as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, I'm going to have to sit on that one because I don't know, but I like that.
It's cool. It's cool. I wanted to ask you about, there's one other thing. I swear it was on the tip of my tongue, Amy. Oh my gosh.
Weird when that
It was on the
happens.
tip of my tongue. So I'm going to keep going with the flow. This is good. And for someone out there who wants to get their message out, they're not feeling seen, not feeling heard, before they go do a session with you, what can they do to like start feeling more worthy, to feel more seen and more heard? Because like maybe they're like, okay, I just want to take my next baby step. I see Amy at some point in the future. I'm like getting ready to send her a message, fill out the form. Like I know that's in my future. What can I do right now? What would you recommend?
I would recommend to find someone that is safe and supportive of you, that you can talk to, that you don't feel like, my biggest pet peeve growing up is when I would start to talk and someone would cut me off and start talking about them, and that would shut me down. And so if you have someone in your life that is a good listener, that is supportive of you, then share with them what's going on. If you don't, you can always find a therapist, you can find a coach, there's lots of people who are in this field who really do care about you and want to listen to your story. And if you want to work with me, I always have that first call. It's complimentary, it's 1 hour. I ask you questions and I mostly listen to your story and able to kind of already see the patterns that are running and tell you that, and then we can move forward. But as you know, I'm a really good listener, so you can have that call with me. And if you don't want to work with me, that's fine. You can still have that call.
It's powerful. So I remember my question. It is, I feel like you have mastered everything under the sun to provide personal transformation for people. Amy, what are you working on as far as like your next skill set, or a new place to be even more effective with getting your message out, or providing and delivering transformation? What are you most excited about to learn and dive into even more moving forward?
So one thing that's been on my heart that I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do it, but I want to do a membership
Ooh.
where it's like a be seen, be heard membership. So I'm in there teaching. I don't know. I haven't quite figured it out yet. But it's not just about like it's my group and you're paying me for me to teach you, because that's not my mission. My mission is you deserve to be seen and heard. So I haven't quite figured it out in my mind yet. But it's still, I know that I have a lot to teach and a lot to share. So I'll still be teaching. But then I want to have some kind of platform where people can share their story and feel seen and heard. And so it becomes like this big community where we all feel safe and supported and protected. And I don't know what that looks like yet, but that's kind of where my mind and intuition and everything is heading.
I love it. Yes, membership sites, 100%. And I see you on more stages, Amy. In fact, I recommended you to a stage in San Diego because I love what you're doing, what you're bringing to the world. What is one of your favorite parts about speaking on stage?
Oh gosh, what is one of my favorite parts? I think just knowing that what I'm sharing can impact people is huge. And for me, I'm sure you can see this because that's what happens. I'm very quick to the point and concise with my message. And so people, I think I like that people just get little nuggets here and there as I share, and it's quick and to the point, and then they got what they needed.
It's beautiful. I love it. I agree. I know people get big value out of it. And Vred, you said, Vred, by the way, is out in the audience. She connected us. Love you, Vred. You're a freaking powerhouse. And she said, like a mastermind. I think she was talking about the membership site. Not sure if you want to clarify what that question is about, Vred. I would appreciate that. But I think it's about the membership site. So it's like to take it from instead of I'm just teaching to more of like the mastermind format to have like people be able to contribute to each other. Sounds like that's her suggestion of the direction to go.
I'll play around with that. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, cool. There was something I wanted to go into as well after the event question. What was it? Well, if it comes to me, I will ask. But I want to wrap it up, Amy, with a final takeaway, something you really want to impart with our audience and leave them with. What do you want to share as far as closing thoughts?
Yeah, so I want to share that you don't need to be fixed. There's nothing wrong with you. If there's things in your life that you don't like, that you can change it. And you're always doing the best you can with the information that you have. And a lot of times I think it's really important that you look at the beliefs that you believe about yourself and ask yourself, where did this come from? Where did I learn this? Because like I said, our identity is formed between the ages of 5 and 8 years old. So if you can pinpoint your childhood that, oh, my mom used to say this, or my grandma or my teacher or whatever, and then like send it back to them. This isn't yours. This isn't who you are. And if this is stopping you from what you want, just send it back to them. And that's the biggest thing is it's like, if it's not yours, send it back and just be authentic to who you are and know that you are good enough, that there's nothing wrong with you and there's nothing to fix.
I also like to say we are whole, complete, and perfect as we are. Love it. Love it, Amy. This is gold. I want to tell our audience how they can stay connected with you. What are their next steps, Amy?
Yeah, so you can go to nobstherapy.com and send me a little comment form. Find me on Facebook at Amy Turner or No BS Therapy. I have if you want to go deeper into this childhood wound stuff.
Let's go.
Yeah. I have my own podcast called Shattering BS Beliefs.
Amazing.
It's on all major platforms. And I go deep into mother issues, father issues, the ways that we're sabotaging, we don't know it. The drama triangle, the rescuer, the victim, the persecutor. I go deep into that stuff. So if you want to really dive into this, you can go listen to Shattering BS Beliefs.
You're so like short and to the point, just powerful communicator. I love it. I love it. So nobstherapy.com. They can also find you on Facebook, No BS Therapy, and just like everything that you're doing, Amy. It's beautiful. It's awesome. It's epic. I'm definitely going to be sending you a message after this because you're doing some awesome things, and just want to see how we can continue to grow together because you got some awesome gifts, and what you're doing, I really love it. What I've heard so far is awesome. So everyone who's listening or watching, talk to Amy, see what she can do for you. I love that, like the complimentary session that you do too, like just to hear people, allow them to share what's going on for them, and then like say, hey, here are your options. Here's how you can move forward. And I think that's really cool, Amy.
Yeah, thank you. And then on the little link on the banner, you guys can get that where I actually take you through releasing a BS belief out of your body. So I do that energy healing with you. It's about 20 minutes long. You want to close your eyes and just be in a uninterrupted state, turn your cell phone off, and just really go into your body, find where that BS beliefs, release it out, and bring in a new energy. And that's just so, I love gifting it to people because the information and emails I get back are just so fun. So that's what I'm giving you.
That's amazing. Amy, you're a rock star. Thank you so much for being here. Super excited to grow together and make a big impact in the world. Thank you for your gifts. And everyone, go to nobstherapy.com and have a conversation with Amy. Amy, have the best day ever, and thanks for being here.
You too. Thank you so much, Chris. Bye.
Awesome. We'll see you soon.